Okay, so this was a real spur of the moment thing. I decided to wash the car and I said, why not whip out the camera and record some of this so you all can laugh a little bit the way I wash my car. I keep telling myself that I will treat myself to a pressure washer. For now, I'm using this Adams guy here, this thing with the hose and quick connect. Quick connects are courtesy of Obsessed Garage, I'll say that. Boom, there we go. The car has already been rinsed, you know, wet down, if you will. Hey, I'm Andy, a high-performance car enthusiast with a passion for well-engineered automobiles. I love to drive mountain roads with like-minded enthusiasts, along with sharing driving tips and techniques in my Porsche GT3 RS and BMW M2 CS. So I was gonna talk a little bit while I'm washing. We just had our Rally to the Ridges event here last weekend, and let me tell you something, the weather was ideal. At the very high elevations, we saw just a very slight hint of the leaves turning color. We're back there 3 weeks from today, actually, for our last event of the year called Skyway Spectacular. We do about 250 miles a day. So our events, we say it in all of our advertising, it's for people who like to drive. We head out on the road by 9 and we're back probably close to 6. Now we stop and stuff, guys, you know, we'll stop at the overlooks and the scenic areas, and we stop for gas and stop for bio break, all that stuff we'll do while we're out there. We have a professional photographer that comes along with us too. And oops, let me tell you something. They take some amazing pictures. Oh my God, it's a two-person crew, a husband and wife, and the images they take are really good. And you know, we'll provide those images to you as well after the event. Everything's all inclusive. We say that on our website. So that's lodging, all meals, all drinks, professional photography's included, walkie-talkies, in-car communications are included. I take the one morning and we go through the itinerary of the day and car control techniques. So I'm a believer, right? I instruct for Porsche Club of America, so at DE events, and I've learned so much over the years from the different professionals that I've worked with that I like to pay that forward. So yes, we're not on track, I know that, and we're safe. We're on public roads, right? We have to be smart. But there are things that you teach on the track that apply to the street. Eyes up, look ahead, be smooth with your inputs. All those things apply. So we talk about that. And then throughout the day, sometimes we go out for a ride and we sit in people's car and we do a little bit of one-on-one coaching so they can get comfortable. And I love seeing people at the end of the event. You see them getting very comfortable with their car and how they're doing. I'm also using Adams car shampoo. I really like this stuff. I like the way it smells. I just like the way it foams and lathers. It's really good. And so the RS has 19,000, I think it's 19,700 and some change. So this event I was 1,240 miles. I did drive it down there. The guy who hauls my car, typically he had some other things going on. So he wasn't able to haul it down. I'll haul it down for this next event. And when I haul it down, you know, this car isn't bad for the, you know, 4 to 5 hour trip. It's probably not too bad. But like you get beyond that, it can wear on you. I don't care. I like the stiff and the hardness, but for others, I mean, it could be a little much. Plus the highway, those aren't fun miles, right? I mean, those of you that have these cars or sports cars, I mean, you know, I mean, they're just, I'd rather be in the mountains. I'll go put thousands of miles in the mountains every day, but to drive on the highway for thousands of miles, just, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I talked a little bit about the event, what you get. We have exclusive use, typically exclusive, not always, but typically exclusive use of a lakefront lodge or a mountaintop lodge, and which is really nice. And our events are pretty intimate. We're about 5 to 10 cars that we have at our events. I think when you're running with 8 cars or less even, it's a really nice size. And then also when people are together at the lodge, it's a little bit more intimate, right? When you have 20, 30 people, what typically happens is people break off into their own little cliques. You know, these 4 or 5 hang out together, these 4 or 5 hang out together. And maybe that's fine and good, but with ours, everybody just hangs together. Just have a really good time. People have made lifelong friends, they share emails, they talk to each other. Yeah, I mean, when this last event, there were guys who were unable to make it, and the guys are there texting them, you know, kind of razzing them a little bit. Like, oh, you should be here. When are you gonna come next? You gotta come to an event. It was really funny to hear. So anyway, I'm having a great time putting these things on and putting these things together for everybody. I love, you know, helping people, teaching folks new things about, you know, if it's car control, getting them comfortable with their cars, and then show them some of the amazing scenery there in the Smoky Mountains. I mean, it's pretty incredible stuff. And I'm fortunate, and I feel blessed that, you know, I get to do it in this thing. And let me tell you, this thing is just absolutely amazing and incredible. I mean, I know there's a 992 RS coming out. It may be a little bit of overkill, a little bit, maybe a lot of overkill for what we do. I think there's one that's maybe a little bit more interesting, is the new GT3 RS. Just because it is a little more compact mid-engine. I think for the mountain road, I think a GT4 Cayman 718 platform, 981, 982, whatever, platform for the Cayman, the 718, I think are really the ideal size. This car here, I'm telling you, on some of those narrow roads, I'll be lucky if I have an inch on each side of the lane to fit. I mean, this car is really big. It's great having the power. It's great having that front end grip with the extra width and the tires on the front. But if they do this GT3 RS well, that might be the car. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep this, and who knows, maybe someday I'll have 100,000 miles on it. All right, so the next step in the car washing process, right? Everybody say with me, what's the next step? Dry your car. From Ammo, I'm using this Ammo Hydrate paint, what does it say? Hydrate paint moisturizer. This stuff does an awesome job drying the car. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You gotta shake it up. Ideally, you wanna get this wet first, and you wanna spray this on the rag, and then you wanna wipe down your car and then just wring it out and whatnot. You can spray this directly on the paint. I find it goes a little bit longer by spraying it on the rag than spraying on the paint. Don't ask me why that is, but this is really good. But this process takes a long time, right? If you had that leaf blower, you'd probably be done drying the car while I'm sitting here yakking away. But this, I really like this stuff. And the reason I like it is because, one, it does a really nice job cleaning the car. It does give the car a little bit of a sheen. Not saying that if I blow dry this and it has ceramic coating on it, that's not gonna have a sheen, but this just seems to give it that extra little whatever. I don't need to run over with a detail, or some call it a topper, a drying agent. I call this my drying agent, so I'm drying and providing some protection and some shine, if you will, to the paint. So my process next is I'm going to dry all the paint work, door jambs, under the hood, under the engine bay. Then I will go and do the wheels. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to grab my little micro blaster thing. This is the guy I'll use. Has this little nozzle that I can put on there, plug this guy in. And really what this is for is, like, I'll blow out this area, I'll blow out here, I'll blow out all around the mirrors, right? I can bend the mirrors, you know, blow this all out, clean down. You'd be surprised how much water gets in along the carbon fiber sill plate, you know, that's lit up there. And then I'll go in the engine bay. I won't do under the frunk. Under the frunk I'll just do with a cloth, but I'll go in the engine bay, and then I'll blow out all along these seams, like with the plastic, and then a little bit around the wheels, like get the stuff out of the cap here and around the wheel. So this whole process, this next step, this drying process, is probably, I'm gonna say, a solid hour to do. I know you're all going like, what? Yeah, my wife says the same thing, like, what? That's it. Oh, and can you see down here? Thank you, Mr. PT3, for showing these to me on one of your posts one time. These are great. Pop these little guys underneath your wheel, and then this way you're not cussing yourself out while you're pulling your hose around and getting it stuck under your wheel. So that's a good investment to make too. They're like a whopping, you know, $15, $19 or something like that. Please subscribe to this channel if you are passionate about performance cars, want to better your driving skills, want to learn about new cars from an unbiased reviewer, are interested in car modifications and gear.